Hey guys, thanks for stopping by to check out this channel. The very first thing that I want to say today is thank you so much to each and every one of you who have hit that subscribe button already. We just passed a pretty significant milestone this weekend. We're at 10,000 subscribers. So thank you so much, honestly, from each and every one of you. I'm very humbled that there are that many of you who want to see what I have to say. Now, to kick things off, or to celebrate rather, we're going to get a new project truck on the channel. That's right, a new project truck. Now, that doesn't mean Ugly Truck is going to go away. In fact, we're right in the middle of gathering all the parts that we need to turbocharge the 8.1 that's under the hood. I'm waiting on a few things, but a few things have shown up. So I'll kind of show you what I have already. I've got an exhaust manifold there. I chopped the flange off, and the rest of this is going to be extensively modified, and I'll show you that in a future upload. I've got a flange here, and you might be able to guess what size or what frame turbocharger I'm going to be running based on the size of this guy right here. Well, it is going to be big. And the turbo itself is hanging out in that box right there, just ready to be attached to the truck. So I'm really excited, and I'm just waiting on a couple of parts. I've ordered some 3-inch Schedule 40 weld pipe online. The stuff's kind of hard to come by, honestly. I had to order from 2 different websites to get everything that I needed, the straight sections, the elbows, and all that good stuff. And I think it should be here a little bit later this week. So the upload on that might be here the week after next or something like that. I do have a little bit of traveling that we're going to be doing. We're going to go visit some family and stuff like that. But don't worry, if you're here for Ugly Truck content, it's in the works and it's going to be here before you know it. But enough yapping for now. I want to show you the new truck that's going to be featured on the channel. My favorite body style of truck, bar none, has always been the old body style Chevy. The GMT400s that were made between 88 and 98, and then for the SUVs it was like 92 to 99 or 2000 or something like that. For some reason, just the classic styling, the good looks, they've always been a favorite, and that's kind of what was around and brand new, when I was in middle school and when I was in high school. So they've just always held, that place in my heart. It's a classic truck. So yes, the next project truck is a GMT400 platform. Now, I've had my fair share over the years. I've had a couple extended cab short boxes. My 2 favorite, I had an 89 K2500 that I swapped in a TBI 454. And then probably my all-time favorite old body style truck, on top of this one that you're about to see, was my 96 K1500, and that was my first lowered 4-wheel drive truck. And that thing was a blast to drive in the wintertime because you got traction at all 4 wheels, and it was lowered down, so it handled, well, a lot better than the lifted truck that it was when I first got my hands on it. But anyway, that's kind of another story for another time. The truck that I picked out is none of those. It's not a single cab, it's not an extended cab. It has 4 doors, and one of my all-time holy grail trucks has been the 4-door K2500, like 97, 98, 99, big block with the short box. And those are kind of hard to find, but that'll be another project for another time because that's not what I brought home. This one actually gets a lot less love than any of them. You ready? What I'm going to be building is a 99 K2500 Suburban. That's right, a Suburban. I know they don't get a lot of love. Most everybody loves the pickup trucks, and for good reason, because the trucks, well, they honestly do look a lot better than the big Suburbans do. They're heavy, and there's just not as much aftermarket attention paid to the Suburbans as there are the pickup trucks. But all that being said, I've got something really cool in mind for this truck, and something that I've had in mind for a very, very long time. See, back when I worked at Redshift, that was, I think 2013, 2014, back before I got the job in Tennessee and subsequently moved back west to Utah. We had a white 99 Suburban big block there, and there was this idea that was in the back of my mind, and it has been just there ever since and growing. And, a lot of times I'll just be laying there in bed at night before I go to bed thinking of how I'm going to pull this off. So now I have the truck to do it. So here's the details. 99 2500 Suburban. So it has the big block 454 underneath the hood because, why not? It has the 4L80E transmission behind that because that's the stronger of the 2 options that you would have got in a Suburban. The 1500s had the 4L60 and the 2500s pretty much all had the 4L80. And out back it had the 14-bolt full floating rear axle. So right out of the gate, this truck has the strongest drivetrain parts that were available back in '99. So I've got a lot of plans for this thing. Some of them are going to involve, making more horsepower, and some of them are going to involve making the truck look a little bit different. But I'll get to all that in a later video. For now, I just want to show you the new truck and show you how it drives. Now, clearly there are a lot of Suburbans out there on the market, especially, OBS Suburbans. But why this Suburban? Why did I pick this particular blue and silver two-tone 99 Suburban? Now, I already went over my criteria. I wanted a big block, four-wheel drive, 4L80, 14-bolt Suburban, and it's got that. But there are a lot of them that do have that. And at first glance, you might look at the outside of the truck and be like, LT, what are you thinking? This truck does not look that good. So if you've been watching the channel for any amount of time, you've probably picked up on the fact that I don't really care how a vehicle looks. I mean, it's got to look decent, it's got to look okay, but I've always said, and I still maintain to this day, that I would much rather have a truck that is mechanically sound than one that is shiny but maybe needs a lot of mechanical repair. The previous owners of this truck lived in Eagle Mountain, which is just a little ways away from my new house, and they gave me a folder about this thick, just filled with receipts of stuff that they've done to this thing. I believe so first of all, the truck has 251,000 miles on it, so it's no spring chicken, but at 210,000 miles, it got a completely brand new motor. Not a junkyard motor, but a brand new motor. So it's got a motor with 40,000 miles on it. The transmission was rebuilt, I think, around the same time. And then other than that, I mean, everything. It's got new tie rods, pitman arm, idler arm, ball joints. It's got new tires on it. For some reason, they're on second-gen Dodge wheels, but it's got new tires on it. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I wanted this particular truck. The price was right, and it had all the features I wanted. So how could I say no? Now, let's talk about the powertrain. Like I mentioned before, this is the L29, which is a 7.4 liter 454 big block Chevy. Now, this is what they call a Gen 6. Apparently, it's the 6th iteration of the big block. And it has a lot in common with the old, 396, 454, 427 style engines. But it's also quite a bit different. It has multi-port fuel injection. This one's rated at 290 horsepower and 380 or 390 pounds of torque, something like that. Quite a bit less than the L18 496 8.1 that's in Ugly Truck, but compared to the L31, which was the 5.7 vortec 350, which was another engine this could have had, it's rated at quite a bit more. So the final topic of the day is, what are the plans moving forward for this Suburban? The interior, I want to spruce that up just a little bit. The main thing I want to do is switch out this split bench thing to a true bucket seats with a full console. So if you're near Salt Lake City, and if you know of anybody, or maybe yourself, you have some, I want the bucket seats and I want the full escalator Denali console and maybe some of the door panels. So if you know of anybody who has that stuff, let me know in the comments or send me an email or whatever. I'd love to find all that. Other than that, on the interior, I'd like to just clean it up and kind of remove some of the stains and fix some of the rattles. Mechanically, I'm going to work on the big block. I want to add a little bit more power. I'm probably not going to do an engine swap yet. You know how plans go, they kind of change. But I want to focus on the big block and see how much more power we can make. And I'll probably take the naturally aspirated route. Long tube headers, different camshaft. I'll tune it with a black box ECM at first, and then I might do an 0411 swap. I've got the software, so that's no problem at all. And who knows, nobody makes a whole lot of forced induction stuff for this engine. I think ProCharger has maybe a head unit for it, but I just want to see what we can do naturally aspirated. And then the big changes. I've got something in mind for the body. I'm going to do some minor modifications to change how this is going to look. And I want to build something that GM never built. It's a risky move. I think it'll work out. I've got the plan sorted out in my mind of how it's going to go. But you guys will have to stay tuned. I'm going to get a rendering made up, I think, to fully explain my idea, because it's difficult to articulate exactly what I want to do to this Suburban. I'm going to have to get the welder out for this one, but you'll just have to stay tuned to see what I have in mind. But until then, I want to say thank you for watching. And if you've already subscribed, I appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please do. I want to get this channel to 30,000 by the end of 2020. And I know we can make that happen. So until the next upload, my name is LT. Thanks for watching.